ancient time had several important functions. The first is defensive. The gate was the only open place in the wall of the ancient city. Its location was selected such that it would allow the city defenders to be the most effective. In ancient times, the gate was usually closed by two wooden doors, as described, for example, in the book of the Deuteronomy, chapter 3, and so in the first book of Samuel. Sometime the gate tower was built above the roof of the gate for observation, as you can see here in Jaffa Gate, and examples can be found in the second book of Samuel. At the entrance to the city itself, on both sides of the gates were rooms. These are called by the prophet Ezekiel cells. Those were used by the guard for rest and storage. These cells can be seen in many sites, one of which is here in Chobat Keyafa. This place is dated to the 10th century BCE, to the time of King David. Now, this is the entrance gate, and what you can see very nicely here is the threshold. This is one piece of stone, 3 meters wide, 1 meter height. It weighs 8 tons. A step was hewn at the threshold, as you can see very nicely here, and this is in order to stop the gate doors when closing them in a straight line to allow the latch to be closed. Once entering, you can see very nicely the cells described by the prophet Ezekiel. Also, drainage canals are known to be at the city gates during the king's period in Judea and Israel, and here as well. The reasons for location of the drainage canals in the gates is the location of the gates topographically at a relatively low point in the city, so that those arriving to the city gate will not have to climb higher beyond what is required. Such a place is also ideal for drainage, since the rainwater will also flow to the lowest location and then down the hill. The area adjacent to the gate remains open space. What is seen here represent many gates at other sites. According to the biblical descriptions, the gate served as the city center and for other various activities, such as the gathering of the city elders for decision-making, trade, a type of court place, and public worship, all took place in this area. So it looks that the common biblical phrase at the city gate, or the phrase Gate Street, refer to the entire open area around the city gate. This leads us to the next topic, the gate as the place of judgment. In the Canaanite city, the gate was the permanent seat of the institution of the elders, as it appears from both biblical and non-biblical sources. At Bethlehem Gate, 10 people from the city's elders sat as a legal quorum at a ceremony of transferring the rights to Boaz. Old men at the gate were mentioned many times in the biblical constitution. Those killing by mistake had to stand before the elders at the entrance of the city gate and were interrogated whether to let them into the city of refuge, as described, for example, in the book of Joshua, chapter 20. It turns out that even during the monarchy, until the end of Judea kingdom, the gate served as a focal point for public life in the city. It is possible that with the establishment of state court, the place of trial was moved to a building located in the city. At the gate, the town people gathered to take part in punishing criminals. Punishment at the gate was mentioned in the trial of Navot of Jezreel, as described in the first book of Kings, chapter 21. Another function of the gate was being the central location for trading, as can be seen here at the Damascus Gate in the old city of Jerusalem. The most natural place in the city where market could be held was at the gate and the street next to it. In the big cities, it seems that certain gates were dedicated to the various trading industries. In Jerusalem, the fish gate was, as it appears in the book of Zephaniah in chapter 1, and the gate of sheep mentioned in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 3. An example from a later period is the Tanner's Gate. The Tanner's Gate is located in the southeast of the old city and is the name of an ancient crusader gate in the walls of Jerusalem, located next to today Dung Gate, actually 20-30 meters east of where I am. The gate was located at the lowest point in Jerusalem, and as you can see on the map, it is located where the Central Valley drains out of the city and later connects to the Kidron Brook. Over the years, it was the most neglected and impoverished area in the city, which was probably already used in the days of the Second Temple as a place where artisans and shipbreathers concentrated. In those days, Jerusalem beef market was in this area near the Temple Mount, and it is understandable visitors who came from outside Jerusalem make a pilgrimage to the temple to bring their offering. It makes it convenient to purchase the meat near the temple. Even during the Crusader period, there was a meat market in this area, and the leather processors, the tanners, operated alongside it. Beyond being close to the temple, another reason for the location here is because the rainwater which flew in the Central Valley, which is actually about 50 meters in front of us, helped butchers and tanners wash away the dirt and the product of cleaning the meat and skins. In fact, the gate itself served as an outlet for this cleaning water. Worship at the gate. The great importance of the gate in public life is expressed in ritual certificates. One example is in the book of Psalms, chapter 24. It is a call to the gates to greet God on his return to his temple as a victorious hero. We are very close to the southern gate of Khirbet Kayafa, facing the Elah Valley in front of us, and close to the place where the battle was between David and Goliath. We have here a stand of almost 1 meter high tombstone made of natural stone. Similar stones have been found in other sites. This ritual phenomena is perhaps related to the biblical phrase gates stages. Appears in a few places, for example in the book of Kings, the second book of Kings, chapter 23, verse 8, where we have there evidence of the demolition of the gate stages at the city gate entrance in the days of King Josiah. And finally, as usual, a question for you. While the settlement that was here in Khurbat Kiafa dates to the 10th century BCE, in what century were most of the current gates of the old city of Jerusalem built? The answer will appear as usual in 5 seconds.